everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Coin Concede. My name is Kenny, and I have my legendary co-host, Cora. I think I muted you again. Cora, how you doing?
I'm good, Kenny. How are you?
All right, I'll get that eventually. And
It's
also,
okay. We got plenty of time.
awesome. And then also, we don't have Kevin this week, but we do have our first legendary guest, Timmy. How you doing, Timmy?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Timmy. Lovely to have you, Timmy. How you doing?
It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, thanks for stepping in. It was kind of last minute, so just so everyone listening understands, we're actually recording on Wednesday night. Usually we do it on Thursdays, and that's part of the reason why Kevin can't be here. But yeah, so let's go ahead and about the podcast this week. We'll talk about the tournament news this past week, and then this week's Tavern Brawl, just a little smidgen, and then we'll talk a little bit about the meta snapshot and tournaments. If I can, you say that 3 times fast.
It's a good tongue twister.
Right?
I'll try that one.
We'll go ahead and start with this week, what we've been up to, either in game or out game. Let's hear from our guest first. Timmy, what have you been up to?
I was participating, in the BlizzCon regionals. I was pretty happy with my performance. Hanging out with friends, singing in my choirs, and playing in Rocket League tournaments. So it was a pretty good week for me.
Timmy,
Nice.
you're in choirs too?
I sure am, yep. I actually sing in 2. I've been singing since I was 8 years old.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Is it just like collegiate stuff?
One's collegiate and one's my church choir. I sing alto and tenor.
Oh, wow.
Super cool. I'm an alto too.
Awesome.
You're way up there.
Yeah.
I was a music major, just so you know. I was a percussionist though, so I'm more tone deaf than you guys, but
Very musical group we have here.
yes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
All right.
Super cool.
And Cora, what have you been up to?
Dude, I have had the busiest week, and it's only Wednesday. Like, I keep having to remind myself that it's only, day 3 of my school year. So I moved back to college Saturday. My school is only 40 minutes from my house, so it's close, but I still live here because college.
I was the same way. I lived about 45 an hour away from where
Yeah.
I grew up.
Yeah, it's nice. I can go home if I need to, if I forget stuff or if I need to, see my family or something, but I still am far enough away that I feel like I'm at college and I have the nice experience, so it's cool. So I moved in Saturday. Sunday I had my music welcome day, so that was a bunch of meetings and stuff, and then it's just been trying to nail down my schedule. Already have a ton of homework, and it's only day 3, so thanks teachers, really cool. But I am attempting to get my stream schedule down pat, and I'm hoping to stick to it, so I should be back to streaming as soon as I can figure out why my open broadcasting software doesn't want to register any audio. Because I was gonna stream today and everything was fine. For once, the video looked fantastic. I had set everything up by myself on my new laptop, and the audio doesn't want to work. Clearly, you can hear me right now, so it's working.
Yeah.
OBS just doesn't think so. So as soon as I figure that out, I will let you guys know, and this short hiatus from streaming will be over.
Yeah,
so
that's
just
really
bear
weird.
with me.
Yeah, you were showing
sucks.
what and you can't really change anything. I mean, you just moved. You brought the computer. You didn't go through your settings or anything. That's just weird.
I mean, I tried everything. I asked for help from tech wizards in line chat. I showed them pictures of everything. I'm like, this is what I have, and they're like, nothing looks wrong. I'm like, I know. So it's not me, guys. I tried everything. So I'll have my father, the computer technician, take a look at it this weekend, hopefully, and we'll get it figured out. It'll be okay, guys. I promise.
He's there for you.
He is. Steve knows what's up.
I'm actually hoping to stream more myself, too. I just got to try to get on a better schedule. I really enjoy it.
Awesome. I'll be there. I'll hang out. It'll be a good time.
Cool. Awesome.
I've been thinking about it, but
Awesome. How was your week, Kenny?
It'd be late. Oh, it was good. It was actually really good. So let's see. Outside of Hearthstone, what did we do? The only thing I can remember recently, Monday. So the first Monday of every month, my wife has Bunko, that she gets together. They get together and play bunco. So I stayed with the kids and watched. I actually took them over to her mom's house, and then her brother and dad and me and cousins and like a bunch of us guys stayed there for Monday Night Football and started watching. So that was cool to hang out.
That sounds fun.
And then as far as yeah, exactly, and it's much needed. It's just
Hey, Bills are 1-0, by the way. It's a pretty good season for us so far.
yeah.
Your son a football fan already?
Well, funny story. My stepson actually he randomly so there's these McDonald's toys, right? And he actually picked out this character that he liked or whatever, and he asked my grandma or his grandma what the team was, and it was the Giants. So he's like the only one out of anybody that was like picking the Giants.
Oh gosh.
But I mean, I'm from like LA area, and we have no teams out here anymore. So and even when there was back in the day, I was a Steeler fan. So I've been a Steeler fan for a while. So I'm a Steeler fan. My wife wasn't really a pro team. She's more college, so she's UCLA. USC. Let me correct that. USC. She just said, "Oh my God."
Does she listen to these, Kenny?
Yeah.
Is she gonna be offended?
She listens to me actually. She's in the other room and she can hear me.
Probably cringing.
Shout out to my wife. But yeah. So yeah, I have the pro teams. She has the college team. But yeah. So my actual son, he has like a onesie that we took a picture in. Says 50% mommy, 50% daddy equals 100% Steeler fan. So I had him dress up and yeah. Unfortunately, they lost, but yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
But as far as
Still a long season.
It is. It's 17 weeks with the bye.
Yeah.
So, as far as Hearthstone goes, I've been working pretty hard climbing the ladder. I actually went back to see where I was at on the last episode. On the ladder, and I was at 12 wins, or rank 12 1 star, and now I'm at rank 5 with 1 star. So I'd made some pretty good progress. Let's see. First day I played was 11-5. Second day wasn't as good. I had a longer session, and I was playing like a lot of different decks. I went 16-12, and then I went 10-3, and then today was 4-1, which got me up to rank 5. So overall, I'm pretty happy. It's basically about a 2 rank per day, I think.
That's
It's pretty solid.
That is productive.
Not bad.
I guess on that topic, what decks have we all been playing the past couple weeks?
I've been doing. I've been playing my Pally because I'm getting closer and closer to getting a golden.
Golden?
Yeah, and it's my first one, so I'm only 8 wins away. So I've been playing that quite a bit, and then I'm also playing a Mech Mage.
Nice.
Okay. Double Fell Reaver?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Very
strong
strong
right
decks.
now. Nice.
I actually just hit Legend recently. I was playing a lot of Druid and Rogue and Warrior, just practicing my decks for tournament, but today I played Mech Mage and went from 500 Legend to 140, so it's pretty solid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw that.
Same thing, Double Fell Reaver. I think it's just a really strong deck right now. But I really like Rogue, so I'm trying to go to the lab and find the best Rogue deck I can get.
Trying to make Rogue a thing. I think Dog was playing Pirate Rogue on stream tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you're not the only one, but I commend you. It is not an easy task.
It's just a fun deck. I think people underrate it, so got to try to show them they're wrong somehow.
Take that, people.
What about you, Cora? What have you been playing?
I was at rank 1 5 stars yesterday. I hit final boss twice with Combo Druid and lost both times. And then I haven't had much time to play at all this week. I took my first full day off of Hearthstone in I don't even know how long. I think that was like Monday. I didn't play a single game. I think I was having like withdrawals. It was weird. So now I'm back at like rank 2 5 stars or something. I've been switching from like Combo Druid to like a mid-range Secrets Paladin. Played a little Zulok. Might try the mech mage because it seems strong, and I haven't played mech in a while. So I don't know. I'll get there eventually. It's been a bit of a slow month, but
Just the grind.
college, whatever.
Moving takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. You're tired after everything, so I can
I
understand
just
that.
put away my final suitcase of stuff today, and I've been here for 5 days. So, priorities.
Yep. So actually, what do you guys think I should do? So I'm 8 wins away from getting my golden hero, and I got this idea during the week. I said, how cool would that be to get my first golden hero as well as my first time getting to legend on the same game? Should
I like that idea.
Should I wait to play my last game when I have full stars at 1 rank? Or do you
I
think?
like that. Get your 7 wins with Paladin, play another deck maybe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
grind it up to the final boss and just switch to Paladin.
That's what
I
I was
mean,
thinking
it
about
would-
doing for mech mage. Just grind the 5 through
Mhm.
1.
Yeah,
pretty
if you do
amazing.
that, I would want to see you stream it.
That would be cool.
I will definitely do that. I'll
It would
make sure.
Oh man, I feel like that'd be so hard though, because like if you lost, then you had to keep trying to get back there. Oh, that could be frustrating. But dude, try it. That'd be awesome.
Well, I know what I'm gonna do with my first legendary game. Once I get to legendary, my first game. If I'm second, I'm gonna coin concede. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's awesome.
So.
Oh my god, I love it so much. Kenny, you are dedicated.
Yes, for sure. I was thinking about doing that for my last game to legend, like do it. But then I was like, no, I can't do that.
Control.
Dude,
No.
no.
Save the coin until you have lethal and
That's-
then concede.
That's hardcore.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Don't do that to yourself.
You'll regret it.
No.
I would.
Oof.
I've seen people get to 1 star away and then they just tilt.
Never make it.
Yeah.
Like me. Yay.
Don't give up hope.
Well, that's the other thing too.
know.
I just got to rank 5 1 day after my goal, so I try to get there around halfway through the month. So the second half is about the same time to get through those ranks. So I'm really hoping this is going to be the first time. Again, the majority of what's working against me is time. So
hmm
don't have much time to play, so got to make the most of it. So I mean, really, I've been if I try and take a peek here real quick of what I posted, I've been at, the first was 69% win rate, second one was 65% win rate, and then 77% win rate. So kind of pretty high there, but that's also climbing the ladder, so it gets much tougher here. We'll see.
It gets harder around rank 3, I find, because then there's a lot of different decks competing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things you have to take into account.
The 5 to legend it's interesting.
hmm
Rage inducing.
Once you lose those
but
win
interesting.
streaks,
Oh god.
I've been to rank 2
Yep.
before, so it's I got a feeling for it, but I got there with my aggro pally, which that has major swings and major tilts. So
oh yeah, mostly for your opponent, right?
no, I would get a major win streak and just climb up, and then I'll get a lot of losses and just it's like, no, that was a fluke. No, that was a fluke. Keep going. That kind of thinking. But I think I got it this month. I feel very confident with that was part of the reason why I was trying to decide if I should wait to play my pally, because I'm doing pretty decent with it. With the secret pally deck. So I'll try for it.
I mean, you have to get 7 more wins with it, so
Yeah.
just win 7 times in a row, and then
Exactly. I'll just
keep
win
winning with
25.
Mage.
Yeah, I'll just win 25 times and just be there.
Exactly.
All right, so I know we have a packed show, so let's go ahead and get into our news here, okay? All right, so the majority of the news this week is all about tournaments. Something that recently happened, though. We'll mention this before we get into the esports section. Both Twitter and Reddit and Twitch, everything's been blowing up as far as what Reynad's been dealing with recently. We're going to only touch upon this just probably because it's going to be talked about a lot, and I think it's going to be beaten to death. But for those who haven't heard, Reynad is saying he's quitting streaming. He doesn't want to stream anymore just because of the experience he's had with his Twitch chat. So there's a couple ways to think about this. There's basically those who oppose Reynad and his decision, and those who are for him. I haven't actually asked you, Timmy. What's your thought on this? What do you think?
In terms of his decision, or?
Well, you could give an answer for both his decision and for everyone's reaction to his decision.
I mean, I can understand his decision. He's a human like the rest of us. Maybe the way he ran his stream, the audience he got, it's kind of like Soda Poppin's viewers. They'll just throw insults left and right, and he could deal with it for a long time, but you can only take so much before it starts weighing down on you, and that's what you get for 6 hours of your life every day. So I think we'll see a return of Reynad. I think he does enjoy streaming. I don't know if his community will get any better, but I think a lot of people miss him. He's pretty influential in the Hearthstone streaming community, and it would be really a shame for him to go. But if he truly doesn't enjoy it anymore, that's fine with me too. It's his decision, his life. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Exactly. For the most part, I agree. As far as his decision, I agree with you. Yeah, it's going to get to you. No matter how thick your skin is and how much... I mean, basically everyone's paying him money to be able to insult him. And that's not what streaming's all about. Like, I don't think that's right. I think either he's going to quit and he just won't deal with it anymore. He's probably made a lot of money from it, and doesn't need to go through that anymore. I don't know if he thought it is something to put up with to get money. And like that's just part of the job, quote unquote. But I respect his decision to stand up and say, like, go against what is happening in his stream. So on the other side, people are thinking he's doing that for publicity to be able to get more people to, I don't think he's doing that only because why would he want to do that to get more people to insult you? And, but I do agree that he probably could have set it up easier with mods or a team of people to help him out. He's got a lot on his plate, and he needs to help disperse some of his the weight of his responsibilities, I think. But I hear, Cora, you have a different way to look at it. I think since you are a woman playing
I just have such
a children's game.
I have such strong and complex opinions.
Yeah, we don't have to go in depth with it.
I'm not gonna go in depth with it.
Yeah.
But like looking at it, did he disperse the trolls like he should have? No. Did he feed the flames and in some way allow for that environment to grow? Yeah, I think he did. Does that mean he deserves to have people threaten to commit suicide if he doesn't turn his microphone back on stream? No, I don't think anybody deserves to be emotionally fucked with that way. And I know this is a not sweary stream, but that's the one time I'm gonna put it out there, because that is
that's just emphasis on how you feel.
There's just some messed up stuff that goes on in Twitch, and I am not a 100-hour a month streamer. I'd like to get there someday, but right now, no, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to have 20,000 people in my stream. I'd like to know what it's like someday, because I think at times it can be really, really fun and really amazingly rewarding. And I think there's a reason that people fall in love with streaming in the first place. Because where else is it acceptable to let other people watch you play video games and to make a living out of it? Like, that's incredible to me. But just, did he feed it? Yes. Does he deserve it? No. Is he trolling people right now? Is he trying to get more money with this publicity stunt? I like to think no, because I can't imagine even Reynad do.
Yeah, I don't think he would be wanting to do that. I mean, he's only human, so I mean, if you think about it, you get streaming, you don't like I wouldn't know how to set up and start moderating chat and doing all this kind of stuff. So I mean,
Yep.
if that's how he learned to grow and that just kind of snowballed upon itself, now it's just so heavy on him. He can't like he has to do something so drastic as to say he's quit streaming, you know?
Yeah.
Even if he was doing it as a publicity thing, I wouldn't even fault him for that, honestly. He's a smart guy. He knows business. He started Tempo Storm, and now it's one of the biggest names in esports in both Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone. So it could be. I wouldn't even fault him, honestly, as a person for doing it for whatever reason. You look at it from a human side, and sometimes you just have enough, You take what
Yeah.
you can take.
All right.
Yeah, it's some complicated stuff.
I think-
Make of it what you will, guys. But
I think we're good on that. We won't go into any more depth on it. So
Something more interesting.
yeah, let's go into esports.
Yeah.
Cora, why don't you fill us in with? Well, let's start with. What do you want to start with? You want to talk about ATLC, or do you want to talk about BlizzCon qualifiers?
Let's talk about HLC since it's over.
Since that was
ATLC 's the
over,
fun one,
yeah,
I
that
think.
one was
Yeah.
last week during the week too. So that's the first one that completed.
yes. All right. So ATLC season 1 is officially over, and they have crowned a champion, and they have received their trophy. If you guys didn't watch, you missed out because it was super fun. Despite a lot of technological mishaps, I think it was still a great time. And Nihilum came out on top. They have won the Archon Team League first season, followed by Cloud9 in second. Value Town came in third, and Tempo Storm came in fourth. Unfortunately, not taking home any prize money, but still a great showing for all those guys. I'm pretty sure that Amaz will put up YouTube videos on his Hearthstone channel if you guys want to see them. If you want to see any of the final matches, there was some really awesome stuff. Yeah, it's just a really cool tournament. What'd you think, Timmy?
I actually kind of wanted to talk about the format of it. I think it's really cool to have a best of 11 team setting in a game that's always been so 1v1 focused. It's like you have 2 decks, so you don't have to really focus on 3 decks like in a traditional Conquest. But with benching rules and just having 6 decks total, it really brings a whole nother level of like mind games, meta game to the tournament. You can see decks that normally you wouldn't see in a traditional Conquest setting because you have to bring 6 classes.
Yeah,
I
I
agree. What I want to say here too is, well, actually, recently Amaz was on the Angry Chicken on their podcast as a guest, and he talked a lot about personal things about him and his tournament, setting it up and everything. He was mentioning how he got together with some friends and they were testing out the format and trying to figure out what he wanted to do for this tournament style and doing all that, and that's how he came up with the benching rule, because if you have this one person that comes out and wins all these games, what's the point of having a team? And I think it's really cool and a different way to add a more in-depth tournament style, and it's going to be more team-based rather than individuals playing a game. I think it's pretty cool and supports the teams that are being created in the Hearthstone gaming community. I mean, hopefully,
Definitely.
maybe we'll see VS there someday.
I really liked the bench rule actually, because with Conquest, the best way to select decks is really you analyze the lineups obviously, but then if there's nothing that's really favored, you just sort of go in blind, and it's like random choice a lot of the time is your best strategy. So with this, you couldn't always just pick randomly because, obviously there are more decks involved, but then if you're sending in the same guy and he loses twice, then they can isolate your remaining decks. So you really have to think,
Yep.
Can I risk losing this person? Will my other decks be able to make up for it? Or then are we just going to get blown out because, we're just all going to get benched because their decks are so favored against, these 2 people after this guy's gone. It's just like, it adds a new level of strategy that I really liked.
Yeah,
that I
it
kind
goes
of
back.
wish we'd gotten more of.
It goes back to what Kenny said. It's like, you're really emphasizing teams. Like, what's the point of having these teams if you're not really utilizing, the actual team side of it? You have decisions being made by three people between what they think is good and just in terms of bringing the decks themselves. You want to bring the best decks possible against the wide variety of decks that could possibly come out. And then, like you said, with the bench rule, it's another level of mind games too, because you send out the guy who has one deck left but just lost, or do you think they're going to think there's no way they're going to play this deck? Let's play something good against their other deck. So it's just really cool to have another level of strategy into this card game that already has so much strategy involved with it initially.
Yeah, I really like it. I think at first people were like, "What is this? This bench rule? This sounds lame." No, I think it actually played a really big role in it, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I think maybe there were a couple kinks in the overall, like 8 weeks of tournament play, but I think they're definitely gonna work them out for the next season. And he said something about season 2 January, I believe, Mouse mentioned.
No, he didn't mention it. I think people were putting words in his mouth because, again, he was in his interview. He said it's a tentative season 2. Like, he doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a next time, but it's like they don't have anything planned or set or,
Nothing official yet, but it'll definitely be exciting to see how the next season is made even better, because this one was already pretty great. There was nothing like it before.
Really good matches throughout the whole thing too. Everybody played really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was cool seeing all the pros play, and I mean, even though you see them play all the time anyways, but in a whole new setting, whole new way. I think they really pulled it off with production and the players really stepping their games up, and it was just a really good performance from everybody overall. The casters did a great job too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I loved the casters bench. And then just even seeing everybody all in one place. Like, watching Twitter was really cool, and then looking at their streams when, like, the days they were all at the team house, because, Forsen would randomly pop in, and, oh, hey, there's Noxious, and, Crypt stream. It was just really fun.
It makes
it was just really cool seeing all of them interact with each other.
It does give it a casual feeling, but it seems more grand that way because all these people are in the same place at the same time. Like, It's not just another online tournament that everyone's...
Yeah.
So that was what was pretty cool to see, all the behind-the-scenes pictures, too, on Twitter, and it was neat to see the cam, like in the other room, the couch. And
the poker table cam.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was really cool.
Yeah. Also, I'm actually curious. This will be very interesting to see if this will change the different teams and how they choose their members, like who's going to be on the team. Like if they're going to, hey, we need a shaman player. We need someone who's really good at playing shaman. Or, I know that other games like Heroes of the Storm, players end up switching teams quite often. I'm curious to see if that would carry over to this, where if it is more team-based and if other tournament styles are going to be like that. I'm very interested to see how that's going to kind of grow. What do you guys think?
I feel like going into it, maybe they just picked like the 3 best all-around players, when in actuality it turned out, hey, we've got 3 guys who are great at Patron and Druid, but we have nobody that knows how to play Priest, or nobody that knows how to play, Shaman or Rogue.
I think that's kind of what happened to Value Town, right?
Does my Skype keep dropping out?
It dropped out for a bit. Yeah, you were in the middle of your sentence.
I think that's kind of what happened with Value Town. I mean, they had like Kibler, who's very good at Priest. They had Trump, who is very good at like Paladin. But on like some of the more traditional decks, like Rogue or with Patron, I don't think any of those 3 guys are actually like very familiar with Patron at all.
Like Dog was the best Patron player they had, and even he was like, I mean, he did a good job. He was just not quite as confident with it, maybe, as he could have been.
Which I think too, you maybe don't even need to be that successful with Patron because it's only one deck. And I think a lot of times they were saying, Patron's going to get through pretty much regardless anyway because of the nature of the deck.
Yeah, maybe being better at something like Priest or some of the lesser known classes is more valuable than the meta decks. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
And again,
like,
that's...
I mean, if you look at like Tice, Life Coach, and RDU, I think those guys, no surprise to winning. I mean, Tice was so good at Druid. He's so good at Freeze Mage life coach like dedicated his life to Patron. RDU, even though he played Mech Shaman, which maybe not have been the strongest, he could still pull off decks. He's good at that aggro style. I think they just overall they had the right idea of super focus and just
They
win
had
with
the
these
best
decks.
coverage as a team, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like no overlapping expertise between them that would just, it's not like, hey, we can all play Druid, so I guess you'll get it this week. It was like, no, we can do anything.
I think that pretty much
Definitely
sums it up. I mean, yeah, you were going to say
it's super exciting to watch.
Oh yeah, I thought it was great. I was following it from week to week. It was just a really cool format. It was cool to see something different, and I really enjoyed it.
Now, Tim, this is a question for you. What do you think made it better for the viewers? Now, my guess is that they had the benching rule, and they also had the different decks, so it wasn't just all Patron for the whole tournament.
I think a lot of the stuff they had really, it being a new format, basically. I mean, you're still carrying on the Conquest idea, but it's something that was never done before. It was easily caught attention. You have all these pro players. I mean, everybody's a recognized name pretty much, which helped definitely. And then for the finale too, I mean, it's like we said, you have all these people in the same place. It's like watching it's like almost watching a concert, pretty much, I would say, because you have all these people you like so much in one area. You can see the little interactions they do.
It's like the Lollapalooza of Hearthstone tournaments.
Yeah,
exactly. And they had that little Jeopardy segment too. So this, they had their fun. The casters were good. Frodan, Noxious, Crypt. I think Forsen even casted some. It was just overall.
Strife
I mean, they just
subbed in a little bit on the last day.
Exactly.
Cool.
They just had good personalities. They had good plays. I don't think a lot of people misplayed, so it wasn't just a clown fiesta the whole time. So.
Now, speaking of the Japarino, I know, Cora, you were really excited about it last week. You want to talk about it a little bit?
I love Japarino. I was so mad. I was waiting all day for Japarino, and then I had to go to Meijer to get last-minute stuff to move into school the next day. And then as I was walking out, I'm like, crap, Japarino's on. So I missed like the first 5 minutes, but then I went back and I watched it in the VOD, so it was all okay. So it was caster Japarino, and there was $5,000 in the line, so it was the only Japarino with like a prize pool that it wasn't just like pride based. So it was super cool. It was Noxious, Frodan, and Crypt. And I mean, I think everybody probably predicted that Noxious would win. And he did come out on top, but it was actually pretty close. And Frodan didn't come in last, which was...
Frodan did really well. I was surprised.
Frodan was rocking it. Noxious was the only one who knew like the sounds that the TGT cards make. I think he had the edge because he had more experience with the TGT cards. And I think this one was a little bit shorter than the others. It seemed like before there was the first round of like Jeopardy questions. Then they did the double Jeopardy segment. So there would have been like 2 rounds of categories. And then it would have gone to, name name as many spells as you can that start with the letter P or something. Then it would have been like those categories. So I think this one was a little bit shorter than the others, but I mean, it was sort of just like a filler in between matches. But I love this stuff. I'm a trivia loser. This is just super fun for me.
I think it's perfect that they had it with the casters, because I mean, really, they should know the most about the game and the names and I mean, that's what they do, is watch games and see the interactions, and I don't know. I think it's cool that they were able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do we want to move on to the qualifiers then?
Yeah. Timmy, I think you know a little bit more about this than I do.
Yeah, I was going to ask Timmy to kind of break it down.
All right. Well, so where should we start? Just how it all kind of went down and where it's at right now?
You can give like a generalized, like up to where we are today, and then or up to this weekend, and then what's recent, like what we're in the process of.
Okay, cool. So I think what it was a week ago, we had the last chance qualifiers.
Yes.
So we had everybody place into their settings. At the top 23 people from ladder and tournaments got their placements, and then everybody in the last chance qualifier got and for the 40-man bracket. And the double elimination tournament started for NA, and I believe the other regions have had theirs too. I haven't really been following them as much, but the way it goes is the 40 people from the regions that are competing. In North America, 6 players will qualify, and they'll join 2 people from Latin America for a regional championship, and the top 4 players from that will go to BlizzCon. And the same thing for the Europe region. China will have 8 players as well. And then the interesting part is there will be 8 players from Taiwan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, and Japan. They'll have 2, 2, 2, 1, 1 respectively that will play against each other, and then we'll have our top 16 for BlizzCon. And right now, we're getting into the round of 16. So we have the top 8 players who, you know, got the most points, and people like Zalay, Trump, Fibonacci, Amaz. They'll start playing against people who have been battling their way up. And this is my first experience with tournaments. I don't know if you want me to talk more about that.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us your experience. Congratulations, by the way. Let's just start with that.
So, with my experience with tournaments, I started with the Fireside Gathering. Actually, my local one was the first time I've ever participated in anything sort of competitive in Hearthstone, and I was like, cool, I'll just go play with my friends, have a good time, and, you know, just enjoy Hearthstone for what it is. And then I end up winning. They're like, okay, you qualify for the online, you know, the next stage. And I was like, there's another stage? What? I didn't quite understand it. So then I played in that, got top 4, went to California to play in the finals, and ended up winning it. And then it was another stage where it was like, hey, you're entered into the qualifier for BlizzCon and all that. I'm like, what is going on? So, you know, for my first experience, it was just like kind of, it's all brand new to me. But I really enjoy it, even though I lost my matches. I beat Raynan, lost to Purple, and then lost to Dart. So I'm out of the tournament, unfortunately. But it was really like an awesome experience for me. I learned a lot. I learned that I need to put a lot more time into prepping, because what actually happened was on the day of submissions, I got home from rehearsal, laid down, and then woke up at 2:30 in the morning, half an hour before decks were supposed to be submitted. And I was in a rush. I'm like, oh God, I got to send them my passport, my ID. I got to send them my decks. And I ended up not really getting the most optimal decks I wanted to send. So I was a little bit upset with that. But overall, I mean, I really enjoyed playing it. I'm going to find more tournaments to enter, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest of regionals to see who's going to go on to BlizzCon and who's going to win it all.
Dude, you're awesome.
I know that it gets me excited to like.
That's insane.
It gets me excited to do a tournament here or there and like get experience. Kind of just, I don't know. We got more questions later. We have a different segment. We're gonna go more into tournaments.
The life of Timmy.
But yeah, but the BlizzCon. So he did a good job of breaking it down. I'm glad you were here to be able to break that down for us. You want to add anything, Cora?
Timmy did a good job. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it here and there. It's being streamed on different top streamers' Twitch channels, actually. So I think Amaz was doing a bunch of it today with Frodan, and then with Forsen, they were casting it. I think Kibler casted some of the matches. They are streaming pretty much everything, if you guys want to watch it. And I think they're only on the top 16, so it's definitely still going on. Yeah, very long road, but I'm assuming it'll all be very worth it.
Oh, could we maybe talk about the decks that are being run?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Or do we want to say that for a later segment?
We'll probably go over that on a later segment, and you could reference it back to this.
Cool.
All right, yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump into the Tavern Brawl real quick.
Whoa, you're the most heavy metal thing I've ever seen!
All right, so this week's Tavern Brawl actually just came up today. It's a repeat of Too Many Portals, where the Master Mages of Dalaran have gone too far this time, opening up hundreds of portals. Choose a class and use a few spells and a whole lot of portals to defeat your rivals. So this actually came out today. It actually was having some issue. They released the Too Many Portals, but when you went and played in the Tavern Brawl, they actually gave you all web spinners. So I had some time earlier.
Imagine the portals gave you all web spinners. There you go.
Exactly. It's still kind of the same concept, but different, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was able to hop into that earlier today. Just here and there, I played 2 games while it was still the web spinners, and I won both. I got my rogue daily done, and yeah, I still have to do it on my EU account, but that's what I haven't had a chance to do that yet. How about
No, I
you?
didn't even think about it. I haven't played Tavern Brawl since TGT came out. I didn't even think of like new game, like even recycling the old game modes. It must be pretty cool to play with the TGT cards now.
It is kind of fun, actually.
With the ones you can make your decks, yes.
Yeah.
This one you don't.
There was one a couple weeks ago that was a repeat, but because it had TGT cards, it was fun again. And I can't remember which one it was. I'll have to check up on that. But, I mean, I loved the Portal challenge back when it was in, oh goodness, was it next Ramus? No. When was Portals a thing?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. Whenever Portals was a thing, I loved it. It was a class challenge. And then when Web Spinners was a class challenge, that was awesome. So bringing it back the first time was super fun. I'll probably play through it a couple times. It's just fun. It's a nice reprieve from the struggle of the ladder grind. So I like it.
Yeah, Web Spinners was part of Nax, and then the Portals was part of BlackRock. So
there you go.
Those class, yeah. I think what else I was gonna mention? Oh, last week. So we didn't really get to play it before the show, but I did hold up my end, and I beat it with a priest for Kevin. I don't know if he followed up on his end. Probably didn't, but so I posted that on Twitter and linked him with no response.
I saw it, and I liked it.
Yes.
You did a good job, Kenny.
Thanks. It took 3 tries, but hey, I got it done. All right, so that was pretty quick. Let's go ahead and talk about the grand tournament here.
It's the grand tournament!
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Tempo Storm's meta snapshot this week. So just a couple of differences with the tiers. I did see that Dragon Priest jumped up to the top tier. We have, I don't know, you guys want to mention anything particular?
Patron Warriors back at number 1.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's surprised by that.
Yeah, I didn't think it would take too long.
I think I actually want to say something about Patron Warrior. It's just, with Patron Warrior, even a bad hand can be a good hand because it just cycles so many cards that you get those combo pieces almost no matter what. I think that's just what makes the deck so strong. It's not even if you nerf Patron or nerf Frothing or something like that. It's just it draws so many cards it doesn't matter.
You need to get very, very, very unlucky to have a bad
like having
draw.
double ghoul in your hand and
Yeah, you're less or you're more unlike. So with the difference, Secret Paladin, if you draw all your secrets, like you can have a bad hand. Yeah, you can have a bad hand, but Patron, like I think that's right. Patron should be ahead of the Secret Paladin.
I think the only thing I don't agree with, it might just be my bias, is this Oil Rogue being so low. Maybe it's just because the deck requires a lot of experience with it and knowing all the different matchups. Maybe I guess they're running based just solely off, matchups and stuff like that. But I feel like Oil Rogue actually is much better than a lot of people give credit to.
Yeah, I played against one and I lost. So I mean, it's still a good deck. I think maybe they don't have it up there because not as many people are playing it.
That could be it. And it's like a lot of people say too, you kind of need to really know how to play the deck to pilot it well to victory. So I can understand that to a point.
Yeah, I still think Rogue is strong. I'm a little surprised that Dragon Priest is tier 1. I know it is definitely strong. It's definitely solid. It's the best priest deck we've got. But even just being the best priest deck doesn't mean that it's necessarily tier 1. It's definitely not as strong as Mech Mage, Secret Paladin, or Patron Warrior, I don't think. And honestly, I'd probably put mid-range combo Druid ahead of it, just like in my rank book. I'm kind of surprised that aggro paladin, like normal non-secret aggro paladin, is a thing. I mean, I guess there is sort of like some flood list, but I guess I'm just surprised to see that as a separate entity in itself.
I think the reason Dragon Priest is so high is just because of the current meta. It's it's strong. If it ever shifted to more like control-based matchups, I don't think it would be as strong. But it's just you get those 3/6 taunters out and you buff it up a few times. It's just so hard.
Just hard for the aggro decks to deal with.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm happy to see a priest deck that's actually top tier for once.
Yeah.
No,
Priest has always been at the bottom.
I think Kevin is probably having a field day.
Yeah, for Kevin.
I'm sure he's disappointed that other people recognize that Priest is good because he wanted to be the hipster Dragon Priest player, but
yeah. And then the other thing I want to make, I also want to mention Lock and Load Hunters there, and also I've heard of Malagos Shaman. I haven't really played against too many, but at least they recognize it on tier 4.
Has been playing a lot of Melee Shaman on his stream. It's super fun looking.
I think other than that...
Yeah, it uses like Ancestor's Call to get out the Malagos, and then Emperor's all of the spells to kill you really quickly. It's fun. It looks cool. It's fun.
That was almost like the Burst Shaman you told me about.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm surprised that Mech Rogue is on here.
It can actually be surprisingly strong with the Sensei and the Wrench can actually provide a surprising amount of damage.
Yeah, people they had to relearn how to play Rogue because, I mean, Oil Rogue was the only one before, and with trying to work with the new cards that are out, and I think we should see Rogue kind of come up a little bit more the more we see it. Or maybe a pro plays
I think the reason it's just not as popular is just because in terms of mech decks, you always had Mech Shaman and Mech Mage, but that's because they had cards that made sense to just burn people down, whereas I think Mech Rogue is a little bit more of a dance with your mechs rather than just play everything you have and push damage,
Yeah, agreed. Still pretty fun though. Very viable. Nice to see a different rogue archetype instead of just oil.
Cool. Well, let's go to our next segment here, where we usually talk about our emails.
We're gonna rock the foundations of the world, baby!
All right, so we didn't get any emails as far as what we can mention on the show. So instead, we're going to go ahead and talk about tournaments, especially since we have Timmy on here. And then we'll also pull from Cora's experience many years, and then my lack of experience. So at least we have a broad range there. But if you do have an email, please send it to coinconcede@gmail.com, and we'd be more than happy to go over that email on the show. So before we get started about talking about tournaments, why don't we start about talking about the different types or the formats for the matches as well as the tournament layouts or the format. And I'll go ahead and default. Actually, I'll leave it up. Who wants to go over that?
Up to you, Cora.
How about I do match formats, you do tournament formats?
All right.
Sure.
All right. So basically, Hearthstone thus far has only had two real different kinds of match formats. Conquest format, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with by now, is the one that has been used this entire BlizzCon point season. You know the gist, best of fives usually. Pick 3 decks. With you win with the deck, you have to switch. Loser can choose to switch or not, and basically you have to win with all 3 decks to win the match. Last Hero Standing was last year. If you guys are new to the scene, maybe not as familiar, there pretty much aren't any Last Hero Standing tournaments left that I know of, just because BlizzCon points were such a big deal and only Conquest tournaments were available to give out BlizzCon points. So maybe Last Hero Standing will come back. Who knows? Yeah, I remember it being a pretty fun format. Basically, it was you win with the deck. winner stays with that deck, loser has to switch. So it really provided for better strategy, I guess. Just that, so you can really counterpick, which was, I mean, a little frustrating to play against at times, but it usually worked out okay.
Well, now they would have to probably ban Patron if they wanted to do that.
Yeah. It was usually that format was usually a pick 4 ban 1.
Yeah.
Which you don't see a lot of ban formats anymore in the Conquest because it's all a little bit more random. But yeah, so that's pretty much all we've gotten from Hearthstone yet. I've tried to think of other potential formats, and I don't know if I'm just not very creative, but I sure can't come up with anything that seems quite so competitive or viable. But I mean, who knows? This next BlizzCon season might be something completely different. I know we were all kind of surprised by Conquest format. Took us a while to get used to, but
Yeah, when it first came out.
Hey, yeah, when it first came out, but now it's just the thing.
Staple.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll throw in like a random tournament organizers pick your decks for you. That'd be weird.
That'd be awesome.
You have to play this deck against this random deck.
Holy
And
crap.
and maybe
Maybe they could
not
pick their
even
class.
ban the deck after you lose it. Maybe you have your 3 decks, and it's just basically a random number generator every game. That'd be interesting.
wow.
I don't know how many serious tournaments could do that, but maybe you could have some fun
Cool.
tournaments with friends.
Yeah. I mean, I like to play random autofill decks anyway.
Yeah.
So doing something like that would be kind of interesting, where it's literally just pure luck. I don't think they could do that for anything serious, but that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
All
Yeah.
right, so I guess we'll get into tournament formats then.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess the standard tournament formats you usually see are usually single elimination, double elimination for most of the opens, and those single elim you either win and you advance, you lose and you're out. Double elim, you have your winners bracket, losers bracket. If you lose in the winners bracket, you go down to the losers bracket. You have a long climb to try to get back into the glory, but it's been done before, and we might even see it in BlizzCon right now. You have actually Firebet has a tournament coming up, the Swiss Open, and depending on how many people sign up for the tournament, you play a certain number of rounds. Depending on your record, you advance into the next stage of play, into the top 16 for competing for the actual prize money and all that. And then you have kind of the more prestigious tournaments. I would say you have group stages. You play against, what is it, usually 3 or 4 other people maybe in your groups. Best record moves on to next stages and stuff like that. It's still kind of just a variation of eliminations and stuff like that, just with records rather than just straight up wins and losses.
Yeah.
And I don't really think we'll see any other tournament formats other than those. Maybe there's round robins too, where you play against everybody. But you can't really do that in Hearthstone.
That's tough.
Too many people.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks.
That's about it.
Thanks for the explanation. We appreciate it. Basically, I wanted to add that in there for all the new players, or even the people that don't go into the tournament scene too much. And then let's go ahead and I'm gonna start with Cora. Let me ask you, what is your tournament or history or career? What experience have you had with tournaments?
I've played casually in tournaments for, it's probably been about a year now. I used to play a lot on this site called HearthstoneOpen.com, because it was sort of like Strivewire, just a lot of free to enter open tournaments with you win a BattleNet gift card or something here and there. So I played a lot in those. I won a couple of arena tournaments, which was super fun, which I haven't seen anything like since then. They actually had their own drafting format for picking an arena deck on the site, and then you play with those cards. That was super fun. I loved that. So if anybody out there is looking to make a tournament website, arena tournaments, I'll be there. So I played a lot in that. My only breakout tournament that I did, I guess my breakout tournament was back when DKMR was still a thing. It was called the DKMR Cup. It was a Swiss open bracket that went to a single elimination tournament. So I placed you had to place top 16 in the Swiss bracket, and I actually got 7th. I think my record was like 6-1 or something out of 7 matches.
Nice.
And then you would go to the top 16 from that tournament, combined with 16 invites, went to a single elimination bracket, and then it was like top 4 got money. I beat, oh gosh, Luigi's in the first round, who used to be a big player, and then I beat Kibler in this. No, I beat Kibler in the first round and Luigi's in the second round, and then I actually went out in the top 8 against Impact. So I was literally 1 top deck away from money. So that was the best I've ever done in tournaments. Like, that was my entire day. Since then I got top 4 in a RCS Rusty Horn tournament not long ago that got me some BlizzCon points. I play the Tuesday Night Hype, obviously. Lots of Strivewire opens. Nothing huge. I've been mostly focusing on ladder and my stream, but I hope to get back into the tournament scene. I really do want to try and make a name for myself competitively if it's possible. So, yeah, mostly casual, but trying to get more serious.
And how about you, Timmy?
My tournament experience actually recently just started. Like I was explaining earlier with the Fireside Gatherings, this is my first real foray into competitive Hearthstone. I took ladder seriously about 4 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, getting Legend and stuff like that. But with the Fireside Gatherings and the BlizzCon, this was my first real experience with playing against really good players. I played against Puffin in the Fireside Finals, Raynad, Purple, just really good players. And I really enjoyed it. I'm actually hooked. I want to talk to these guys and see if they can give me some advice into getting into more tournaments, trying to get my name out there. I want to stream more and more. I want to make this part of my life now. It's just so exciting to compete, and I've always loved card games, strategy games. And I just like coming up with decks, making the best plays possible, and it's just exciting, and I'm addicted, I think.
Nice. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and ask, since Timmy's our guest, I'm going to ask him all these questions first. And Cora, if you want to jump in and here and there with your experience or whatever, feel free to do so.
No
but now, since I've never been at any, I'm going to ask Timmy from a new player's experience. What do you look at when deciding what to play for a tournament? How do you decide?
You look at what's strong, I think. You don't want to bring a weak deck to a conquest setting, especially because you need to win with that deck. And what we didn't really see a lot so far is experimentation. There's no crazy new decks right now because I think it's so close to the release of TGT that you don't want to bring something that's experimental and might not work out. So you look for what's consistent, what's very strong, or what you're comfortable with, I would say. In this tournament, we saw a lot of Patron, which was no surprise to anybody, a lot of Demon Handlock, and a lot of Druid. They're just very consistent decks, very good win rates, and very easy to play for the most part, other than Patron, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We see a lot of those decks. And I guess my follow-up question is, how would you differ your deck from tournament play from your ranked play, like what you would rank up on the ladder?
So when you're climbing on the ladder, you want decks that are like good against the board because you never really know what you're going to run into. You can have an idea with the meta, but even then, sometimes it's hard to. You can't really target one deck, I would say. When you're in tournament play, you can have a couple of different strategies. You can target one deck with a certain deck and try to get it. You could have 3 decks that are just good across the board, or just one really powerful deck.
Yeah, it would depend on the type of
like
match format and the tournament format that you're playing, I guess.
You might have a little more tech cards, stuff like that.
Okay. And is that the same thing you think, Cora, as well? Like how you would differ the?
Yeah, I think they're very different. Definitely decks that you bring into a tournament are strong on ladder for sure, but you really have to look at how your decks fit with each other and how they all um, sort of work together, I guess. Like with the three, you can sort of target another deck and try to shut that deck out. If it's say you want to target patron, you want to bring like handlock druid and control warrior. Like that's technically a lineup that all has a positive win rate against patron decks. So you're like, all right, I'm going to see a lot of patrons, so I'm going to bring these three decks. Whereas maybe control warrior is not the best on ladder right now. It might be good in a tournament setting. So it's definitely a different mindset.
Oh, good to know. I'm trying to take in as much as I know, so just so I can seriously think about it. Now, right now, I'm focused on ladder, but after I get legend, maybe I'll do a tournament here or there. We'll see.
I also wish I prepared a little bit more. Preparation for tournaments is very important.
How do you prepare? What do you do?
You kind of, it's a lot of testing on your own, finding what cards really work, talking to other people too, I would say, seeing what their experiences with stuff is. Mm-hmm. Paying attention to metas, new decks coming out, because you never know what could be super powerful. But yeah, like I said, I woke up super late and didn't really get the most optimal decks I wanted. I would have made a lot of changes to some of my decks.
Well, next time, right?
Preparation's a big part of it. Yeah, exactly. Next time.
Yeah, it's hard when it's like your last chance to, instead of prepping for it throughout the whole road. Like if you had started more than a couple months ago,
yeah,
I'm sure it would have been a different story. Okay, and then this is more for Timmy, for our newer listeners or new players or people like me who haven't done a tournament. If you wanted to get into tournaments, how would you suggest starting out, and what would you set your goal? Like, what would you want to eventually get into? Like,
starting out, I would say maybe just start doing small tournaments with friends, getting used to like the Conquest style, and just maybe not such a serious setting at first, because nerves really do play a big part into playing the game when you're playing for money and playing in front of 30,000 people and stuff like that. Maybe find an area like a local store or something that will host a small tournament, maybe small prize pools and stuff like that, and then look online, find open tournaments, start just entering whatever you can to try to get your name out there, climb the ladder if you're really interested in competitive play against the top tier people, and really get an idea of what it means to play this game at that level. Cool. And just go for it, honestly. Like, if it's something you want to do, you just gotta like throw yourself at it.
Yeah, it's just jump off the deep end.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I always feel kind of bad, like when I go up against somebody who I obviously know, hasn't been playing for super long, doesn't have every card in their collection, and maybe isn't as experienced, in like these open tournaments. And I always, after I beat them, I always ask, how long have you been playing? Like how long have you been in tournaments? And they're usually like, oh, this is one of my first ones, but I really wanted to get into it. And I'm like, that's super cool. Even if, maybe you're not the most experienced player, or you don't have all the cards, or you haven't been playing for, since open beta. Like, if it's something you think you'd enjoy, go for it, because it really is a lot of fun. And you're going to learn more ultimately from just doing it than you are from, saying, hey, I'm not ready yet, maybe in a month, or maybe when I get with this card or something. Just go for it, because
just
you're
do
gonna learn
it.
a lot. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams, guys.
Don't let your memes be dreams.
Exactly. Lesson of the day.
All right. So thanks for going with any other things, like last comments you want to talk about tournament that you didn't get a chance to say?
I'm planning on entering a lot more tournaments, that's for sure. I kind of want to try to get into contact with some established players. Like I said, I want to try to get invited to things. Maybe taking out Raynad will get some attention to that. But I don't know. I think for most part, I'm just gonna have to find it out myself.
Yeah, it's a learning process. If you can get help, find people who know what they're doing. because it's a lot easier than just wandering around blind and figuring it out yourself.
Yeah, I think what I'll end up doing is doing a lot of like conquest simulated matches against friends on my BNet account. Just kind of do
Yeah. Oh, scrims are very important. Scrims will help you so much.
And
Just
learn.
get a couple friends together,
Especially
set up
people-
a challenge tournament, and just like go.
especially people that are better
Run
than
wild.
me. You know, they can make comments like, "Hey, well, you probably could have done this better," or, think about this or whatever. I guess surround yourself around the people that are better than you, because it's only going to make you better. Same thing with like positivity. Like if you're around a lot of positive people,
You're going to be a more positive person.
exactly.
And don't underestimate the power of like watching tournaments and watching other people on Twitch. That
I
has
learned a
helped
lot.
me so much.
That's what I end up doing on my free time when I'm either Whoa.
Nope.
My fire alarm's going off, so I'm probably gonna have to exit the building.
All right. So see you later.
You guys are gonna finish up without me.
All right.
Don't worry, it'll be okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Coin Concede, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Oh boy.
That's funny. Okay. Well, we're already over time right now, so we'll just head out and I'll go through everything else here. So, as far as our iTunes, we do need some reviews. We haven't gotten any this week. It is a little bit earlier than when we usually have our show. So please give us a review. You can even mention this is an awesome podcast or hey, how's it going? Whatever it is, just write something there for us. It helps out our show tremendously. I did get to working with, if I give a shout out to Snuff, who wrote in with us, was it last week? And as far as getting Stitcher's link up and running, so we have now the Stitcher review direct link linked on our show notes, and with everything that's like on our website, it's linked everywhere. So go ahead and click on the direct link, because it's I don't think between the two of us we could find out how to do it on the app. So do you listen to podcasts, Timmy?
I do. I've never listened to anything on Stitcher though.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, is just go and click the direct link, and that way I know it's a little bit more inconvenient, but it definitely helps us out. If you have a chance to do it, do it. You can catch our blog posts at coinconcede.com along with our show notes. Also, you can follow the show on Twitter at Coin Concede. We also want to give a quick thank you to Stefan for letting us use his cover music for our intro and outro music. You can check out his channel on our show notes. Also, a special thank you goes out to Zoe Zazu for creating our logo. You can find and follow her at Zoe Zazu on Twitter. And also, I want to give a special thank you to the Unstable Portal podcast. They were the ones who gave us the intro for this week. And you can follow them at Unstable Podcast on Twitter. Or you can head to www.cynicalnerds.com/unstable-portal. So you can definitely give them a listen. You'll have a fun time with them. So shout outs. I'm going to go ahead and shout out for Cora, since she's having fun right now. Hopefully she's not wet. So you can follow her at VS_CG Songbird on Twitter. And you can follow her on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sage Cora. Kevin, if he wasn't able to make it here today, I'll go ahead and let you know he's at Kevin Cookies on Twitter. Kevin KOOKIES with a K. And Twitch, he doesn't really stream, but he's on there. You may catch him. He's at twitch.tv/Kevin_cookies. How about you, Timmy? Where can we find you?
On Twitter, you can follow me at Legend of Timma, TIMMAH. And on Twitch, it's the same thing, twitch.tv/Legend of Timma. I made these when I played League of Legends, so the name just kind of stuck.
And also TIMMAH. Perfect. Cool. Well, thank you so much for. I know we actually got him last minute to fill in for the show, so thank you for being such a clutch host here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And then also my shout outs. So follow me at KCCO_gamer or you can send me an email at kccogamer@gmail.com to get a hold of me. Other than that, I want to tell everyone, keep calm and chive on. And until then, Coin Concede.
Coin Concede.
Thanks, guys.
You have bested.
I choose death.
You win this one.
I concede.
You win this time.
Well fought. I concede. You win this one, friend.
The victory is yours.
I give